All right, I'm back for a non-horror review. Uh, in the Oxford Dictionary, I like to start off reviews quoting the Oxford Dictionary, but in the Oxford Dictionary, revenant is described as a person who supposedly has come back, typically from the dead. So with that as a lead-in, I've got a review of The Revenant. This is the 2015 film directed by Alejandro Inarritu, Mexican director. He did The Birdman too. There's probably, most of you, I'm sure, have seen this film. If you haven't, you really need to see it. It's a masterpiece, in my opinion. It's a wonderful film. It's a long film. It's over 2.5 hours. But if you like survival films, revenge films, I don't know that there's many that have done as well as this. The cinematography is just outstanding, and has one of the best bear attack sequences I think I've ever seen. I mean, I just still am amazed at the bear attack sequences. The film stars really two protagonists. Leonardo DiCaprio plays Hugh Glass, and then Tom Hardy plays John Fitzgerald. And these two guys are trappers back in the 1820s, and they are part of a group that is trying to get their pelts through the Missouri country without the Indians, the Pawnees or the Araku Indians, killing them, basically. Hugh Glass, or Leonardo, gets attacked by a bear and is left for dead, essentially. He's being watched over by the shady, if you will, John Fitzgerald, Tom Hardy character. And Tom Hardy decides that this guy's more of a liability than an asset, and basically leaves him for dead, puts him in the ground, covers him up, and walks off. So the film goes from really a kind of an outdoorsy film about these guys, these trappers trying to survive these Indian attacks, to a straight up revenge story where Hugh Glass's mission is to get back at John Fitzgerald, particularly because John Fitzgerald gutted his son, a Pawnee. He had, so the subplot of this is that Hugh Glass had a relationship with a Pawnee woman and had a son, and the son was with him on this trapping team. It's actually based on a true story. There was a Hugh Glass in the 1820s. Some of the events may have gotten blown out of proportion, particularly the bear attack. And I don't think that most people say that the subplot of him having a son with a Pawnee Indian and that spurring the revenge factor, that's pretty much a movie trope. It wasn't really what occurred, but irrespective of whether it did or didn't actually happen in reality, it makes for a great film. And it really puts you in the place of Hugh Glass trying to survive against all odds in open outdoors, and try to get back at and seek revenge for the killing of his son. It's a great father-son bond. It really, you don't see many movies that really focus on a father-son bond and what that means, but this film really captures that very well and wraps it up in a revenge story that's very compelling. Beautiful cinematography, as I indicated. It's some of the best scenes. I mean, it's very Terrence Malick-like in its portrayal of the outdoors and the wilderness and winter settings. You just can't beat it. And Leonardo DiCaprio won a bunch of awards for his acting portrayal. But I would say to you that Tom Hardy, who plays the bad guy in this, propelled the movie. He made the movie. Not to say that Leonardo DiCaprio's performance was bad. It was very, very good. But I just think Tom Hardy stole the movie. He's simultaneously a despicable character, but he also is a character that you can kind of empathize with, and he's likable in a weird sense, or maybe it's just me, but I found him very likable. You've got a difficult set of circumstances trying to survive anyway, out in the outdoors and open wilderness in the 1800s. So some of his actions and motivations were rational, if you will. Whatever you think of that, the motivations or DiCaprio's performance, this is really a movie that you don't want to miss. It's just fantastic. It made a fortune. I mean, it was made for 150-some million and made $500 million at the box office. So most people give it the same kind of accolades I give it. I was really, really impressed with it. The Blu-ray, this is a pretty standard release. You just got the Blu-ray, and then special features. There's a making of, and then there's a 40-minute making of, and then there's a interview with the director, which I found fairly interesting. But yeah, it's excellent. 8 out of 10 movie. So, all right. Well, that will wrap up my review of The Revenant, and I appreciate you watching. Thanks.